Inherit Select is more than just a genomic test. It's a weekly international genetic evaluation for seed stock and commercial females that is fueled by pedigree, performance, and genotype information from Leachman Cattle of Colorado, their cooperators, and dollar profit partners such as Rissington. When New Zealand commercial cow-calf producers purchase Rissington bulls and in turn test them using Inherit Select, the genotypes of those females are linked to the bulls that produce them, and also then the pedigree and the performance information that has been historically submitted by Rissington as well as related cattle around the world. On behalf of Zoetis, I'd like to thank Rissington and their bull buyers for being early and advanced adopters of Inherit Select. Since introduced in mid-2020, over 9,000 females have been tested. Inherit Select is for females only and is not intended to be used by cow-calf producers in order to produce and evaluate their own bulls. The general categories of Inherit Select features include 5 economic indexes, including dollar ranch and dollar profit, and 3 indexes we'll talk about in a minute from Zoetis. Those indexes are then informed by genomic expected progeny differences for 19 different traits, which are benchmarked against about 40,000 tested commercial females globally. The technology also supports parentage determination if the sires of the tested replacements are genotyped and in the evaluation. And finally, Inherit Select also delivers genomic approximations for breed composition across categories of biological types. More specifically, the trait and the index predictions are illustrated on this slide. As you can see, Inherit brings to commercial cow-calf producers the types of comprehensive information that have historically only been available to seed stock breeders. The top of the slide largely lists the maternal traits included in Inherit, as well as in the dollar ranch and cow-calf index. The bottom half of the slide includes growth, post-weaning growth, intake, feed efficiency, and carcass merit information that's included in the Zoetis Feedlot Carcass Index. And then all the traits contribute to the dollar profit and the Zoetis Total Return Index. Just calling out a few of the traits, the fertility EPD predicts differences in number of calves that tested females are anticipated to produce between the 2nd and the 8th parity at 9 years of age. That's a particularly important trait as it relates to driving the cow-calf indexes. And then on the bottom of the slide, we're particularly pleased with the fact that over 35,000 individual animals with dry matter intake are contributing to that EPD, as well as the feed to gain, feed efficiency EPD included in the product. By virtue of the individual traits and the indexes, we feel Inherit goes way beyond visual appraisal in helping producers predict which will be the most productive cows. Select is intended for 8 specific target breeds. Those are included here: the British breeds Angus and Red Angus, South Devon and Hereford, and the continental breeds Simmental, Gelbvieh, Limousin, and Charolais. The breed composition is reported in categories, so it reports the percent Black Angus. It also reports then the percent total British and the percent continental. If groups or individual heifers are thought to be more than 20% either Indicus or dairy or Wagyu breeding, Inherit Select really isn't for those cattle at this time. The 2 most common questions we get from commercial cow-calf producers are, how do I collect DNA? And secondly, which heifer should I test? The answer to the first question is quite easy. We highly recommend use of the Allflex tissue sampling unit. It takes a punch out of an animal's ear, and it takes about the same amount of time when processing as it would take to tag an animal. That punch then is preserved in a small canister, which we found to yield very dependable DNA and a high probability of successful test results. Regarding the second question, we generally advise to test 2 and keep 1. Depending on the number of cows you're culling, whether you want to grow, maintain, or shrink your cow herd, testing roughly the top 3/4 of the heifer crop based on those that are earliest born and meet visual criteria, and then selecting the top half of the ones you test, yield selection differential to find those that are predicted to be the most productive cows. In other words, the simple advisement, test 2 and keep 1, generally yield the highest return on investment in the technology. As mentioned earlier, Brissington and a number of their bull buyers were first adopters of Inherit Select. So we thought it would be interesting to take a look at one such example herd, the results of their 2019 born animals, as well as their 2020 and 2021 born heifers. As you can see, as this producer has bought better and better Brissington bulls over time, based on dollar profit and other criteria, and then as they've used Inherit Select technology, the pool of replacements that they've tested from which to select, indicated in the yellow line, has improved nicely, as has then the specific heifers that were selected in the year 2020 and 2021. In US dollars, this would be predicted to yield roughly $30 to $45 improvement in net return per calf from these females. Incidentally, in the very near future, the indexes that Zoetis delivers for cow-calf, feedlot carcass, and total return will be in units of the local currency, and we do intend in the near future to produce results in both the metric units that you all are used to looking at. More information is available at inheritprogress.com, where you can also find the technical bulletin that provides very detailed information about the predictions and the product features. Finally, if you have any questions or want to know more about how to get started with Inherit, I'd highly recommend you visit with Amy, our genetics area manager for beef in New Zealand. I'd also like to thank Amy for helping to assemble the content of this PowerPoint. And finally, thank our hosts, Daniel, Jeremy, and the Brissington team for the opportunity to show this information. Thank you.